The sky was overcast as if mourning alongside Clara, a grieving mother who had just lost her daughter Lily to a sudden and tragic illness. Clara's life, once filled with laughter and love, had crumbled into darkness. Her vibrant 10-year-old daughter, who was full of dreams, had been taken away too soon. The wake was held at their small family home. Friends and relatives gathered to pay their respects, offering condolences that felt like empty words to Clara's shattered heart. As she sat by Lily's casket stroking her daughter's cold hand, Clara's mind raced with memories. Lily's first steps, her school recitals, and her unwavering smile, which seemed to light up the darkest days. Clara was consumed by a single unbearable thought: I can't let go. Desperation clawed at her heart. She didn't want to forget Lily's face or the sound of her voice. An idea, wild and irrational, took hold of her. Clara retrieved a small camera from her bedroom, a device Lily had once used to record her vlogs. Without telling anyone, she carefully placed it inside the coffin, positioning it to capture her daughter's face. This way, I can still feel close to her, she thought, her trembling hands betraying the storm inside her. As the burial ceremony began, Clara felt her strength faltering. When Lily's coffin was lowered into the ground, Clara fell to her knees, sobbing uncontrollably. Her sister Evelyn knelt beside her, whispering words of comfort. She's in a better place, Clara. You need to let her rest, Evelyn said gently, though she, too, struggled to contain her tears. Clara nodded, but deep inside she wasn't ready to let go. Little did she know her act of desperation would soon lead to something no one could have imagined. That evening, Clara couldn't sleep. She lay on the couch in Evelyn's living room, clutching Lily's favorite blanket. The silence was deafening, broken only by the faint hum of the camera feed on her phone. She had synced it to a live stream, convincing herself that watching over Lily even after death would bring her some solace. Evelyn, worried about her sister's fragile state, watched from the kitchen. She saw Clara glued to her phone, her eyes red and swollen. Clara, you need rest. This isn't healthy, Evelyn said softly as she brought her a cup of tea. Clara shook her head. I need to make sure, she whispered, her voice breaking. Evelyn didn't press further. She understood Clara's pain. Losing Lily felt like losing a piece of their own souls. She left her sister to grieve in her own way, hoping time would bring healing. But time wasn't what Clara needed that night. As the hours dragged on, Clara stared at the screen, expecting nothing but stillness. And then it happened. A faint movement, a flutter, almost imperceptible, caught her eye. Her heart skipped a beat. She leaned closer, her hands trembling, and saw Lily's chest rise and fall ever so slightly as if she was breathing. No, that can't be, Clara whispered to herself, her heart racing. She adjusted the angle, her eyes fixated on the screen. Another movement, a small twitch of Lily's fingers. Clara's breath hitched. "Evelyn!" she screamed, her voice filled with a mix of terror and hope. Evelyn came running, her face pale with worry. "What is it, Clara?" "What happened?" Clara thrust the phone into Evelyn's hands. "Look, she's breathing. Lily's alive," she cried, her voice trembling with desperation. Evelyn stared at the screen, but all she saw was Lily, lying motionless. "Clara, it's just your imagination," she said gently. "You're exhausted. You need to rest." No, I'm not imagining it. I saw her move," Clara insisted, tears streaming down her face. "We need to go to the cemetery. Now." Evelyn hesitated. She didn't want to feed her sister's delusions, but Clara's conviction was unshakable. Seeing no other choice, Evelyn grabbed the car keys. "Okay, Clara, let's go," she said, trying to keep her voice calm. Clara clutched her phone tightly as they drove through the dark, empty streets. Her heart was pounding, torn between fear and hope. Evelyn stole glances at her sister, silently praying that this journey wouldn't break her even more. When they arrived at the cemetery, the gates were locked and the grounds were eerily quiet. Clara banged on the gates, her voice echoing in the stillness. "Please, someone help me. My daughter is alive," she shouted. A lone gravedigger, an older man named Henry, emerged from a small office nearby, rubbing his eyes. "What's all this commotion about?" he asked gruffly. "My daughter, she's alive. You have to help me dig her up," Clara begged, showing him the camera feed. Henry frowned, skeptical but intrigued. He looked at the footage, then back at Clara. "This better not be some cruel joke," he muttered, grabbing a flashlight and his tools. "Let's go." Under the dim glow of the cemetery lights, Clara, Evelyn, and Henry made their way to Lily's grave. The air was cold and heavy, as if nature itself sensed the gravity of the moment. Clara clutched the phone tightly, her eyes glued to the screen, her heart pounding louder with every step. "Are you sure about this?" Henry asked, glancing at Clara with a mix of doubt and concern. "I'm certain," Clara replied firmly. "She's alive. I saw her breathing. Please, hurry." Henry hesitated for a moment before pulling out his tools. "This is against every rule, but if what you're saying is true, we don't have time to waste," he said, planting his shovel into the earth. Evelyn stood frozen, torn between supporting her sister and fearing the heartbreak that might follow. "Clara," she said softly, What if you're wrong? I just don't want you to—" "I'm not wrong, Evelyn," Clara interrupted, her voice trembling with urgency. "Please, trust me." Henry dug faster, his experience with the soil apparent in every swift motion. Clara knelt beside the grave, her hands shaking as she whispered prayers under her breath. "Just hold on, Lily. Mommy's coming." Finally, the coffin was unearthed. Clara's heart felt like it might burst out of her chest as Henry and Evelyn helped lift the lid. The moment the coffin opened, Clara gasped, her knees buckling beneath her. Lily's body lay still, her face pale and serene. Evelyn covered her mouth, holding back a sob. "Clara, she's—" Evelyn began, but Henry interrupted. "Wait," Henry said, pointing to Lily's chest. "Look." Clara's eyes darted to where Henry was pointing. For a moment, everything was silent. Then there it was, a faint rise and fall of Lily's chest. Clara let out a cry, her hands reaching for her daughter. "Lily! Baby, wake up!" As if hearing her mother's voice, Lily's fingers twitched. Her eyes fluttered open and she let out a weak, raspy breath. "Mom," she whispered, her voice barely audible. Clara broke into sobs of relief, cradling Lily's face in her hands. "I'm here, sweetheart. I'm here," she said, tears streaming down her cheeks. Evelyn stood paralyzed, her mind struggling to comprehend what she was witnessing. Henry, though shocked, sprang into action. "We need to get her to a hospital, now," he said. Clara nodded, her voice trembling. Thank you for helping me," she said to Henry before turning back to Lily. "You're safe now, my love, you're safe." Clara held Lily tightly in her arms as Evelyn ran ahead to start the car. Henry helped them navigate the uneven paths of the cemetery, his face a mix of awe and disbelief. As they reached the car, Evelyn opened the back door, and Clara carefully placed Lily inside, wrapping her in the blanket she had brought. "Hang on, baby, just hang on," Clara whispered, her voice breaking as she stroked Lily's hair. Evelyn drove as fast as she could, the tires screeching as they sped toward the nearest hospital. The car was filled with an intense silence, broken only by Clara's whispered reassurances and Lily's faint breaths. At the hospital, chaos ensued as Clara ran into the emergency room, shouting for help. A team of doctors and nurses rushed forward, taking Lily from Clara's arms and wheeling her into a treatment room. Clara tried to follow, but a nurse gently stopped her. "Please wait here, ma'am. We'll do everything we can," the nurse said, her tone kind but firm. Clara collapsed into a chair, her hands trembling. Evelyn sat beside her, wrapping an arm around her shoulders. "She's alive, Evelyn. My baby is alive," Clara murmured, as if saying it aloud made it more real. "She is," Evelyn replied, tears streaming down her face. "It's a miracle, Clara. I don't know how, but it is." Hours passed like years. Clara sat on the edge of her seat, her eyes fixed on the doors that led to the treatment room. Finally, a doctor emerged, his expression unreadable. "Mrs. Clara?" he asked, and she jumped to her feet. "Yes, that's me. Is Lily okay?" she asked, her voice filled with desperation. The doctor nodded, a faint smile on his lips. "Your daughter is stable now. It's truly remarkable. She's showing signs of full recovery. We believe she experienced something known as Lazarus syndrome." "Lazarus syndrome?" Evelyn asked, stepping forward. "It's an extremely rare condition," the doctor explained. After the heart stops and resuscitation efforts are ceased, spontaneous return of circulation can occur. It's not fully understood, but in Lily's case, it seems her body managed to recover on its own after being pronounced dead. Clara's knees buckled, and Evelyn caught her just in time. "You mean she's going to be okay?" Clara asked, her voice trembling. "With proper care, yes," the doctor assured her. "She's incredibly lucky. You caught this in time." Clara broke down in tears, overcome with gratitude and relief. "Thank you, God. Thank you," she whispered. The nurse returned to escort Clara and Evelyn into Lily's room. Clara's heart swelled with joy as she saw her daughter lying in bed, weak but alive. "Mom," Lily said softly, her eyes filling with tears. "I'm here, baby. I'll always be here," Clara replied, taking Lily's hand in hers. Clara spent every moment by Lily's bedside, holding her hand and whispering words of love and encouragement. The days that followed were a whirlwind of medical tests and treatments, but none of it mattered to Clara. Her daughter was alive, and that was all she needed. Lily, though weak, began to regain her strength little by little. The hospital staff was amazed by her resilience and the sheer improbability of her survival. "You're a fighter, Lily," one of the nurses said with a smile, adjusting her IV line. "You've got a second chance, and not many people get that." Evelyn visited every day, bringing meals and support for Clara, who refused to leave Lily's side. "You should rest, Clara," Evelyn urged one afternoon, placing a gentle hand on her sister's shoulder. "You've been here for days." "I'll rest when Lily's home," Clara replied firmly, her eyes never leaving her daughter's face. Despite her mother's constant presence, Lily struggled with the weight of what had happened. She had vague memories of the accident, the moments before everything went dark. "Mom," Lily said one evening, her voice quiet, "I thought I was gone. I thought I'd never see you again." Clara's heart broke at the fear in her daughter's eyes. "You were gone, sweetheart," she said softly, brushing a strand of hair from Lily's face. "But someone, brought you back to me. I don't know how, but I'm so grateful. We've been given a miracle." As Lily processed her mother's words, a tear slipped down her cheek. "I don't understand why I came back," she admitted, "but I'm so glad I did." Clara hugged her tightly, her voice steady despite the emotions threatening to overwhelm her. "You came back because you're meant to be here. You have a purpose, Lily, and I'll be here to help you find it." Over the next week, Lily grew stronger. The medical team finally declared her fit to be discharged. As Clara wheeled her daughter out of the hospital, the crisp evening air felt like a new beginning. Evelyn was waiting by the car, her smile wide as she hugged them both. "Welcome back, Lily," she said, her voice full of emotion. "Thanks, Aunt Evelyn," Lily replied, her own smile hesitant but hopeful. "It's good to be back." Back at home, Clara created a cozy space for Lily, ensuring her recovery would be as comfortable as possible. She cooked Lily's favorite meals, read her stories, and filled the house with warmth and love. Despite the physical healing, Clara noticed that Lily carried an unspoken burden. One evening, as they sat together on the couch, Lily broke the silence. "Mom, I need to tell you something," she said, her voice hesitant. Clara placed a hand on Lily's. "What is it, sweetheart? You can tell me anything." Lily took a deep breath, her eyes welling up with tears. "When I was gone, I saw Dad." Clara froze, her heart skipping a beat. You saw your father?" she asked softly. Lily nodded. "It was like a dream, but it felt so real. He was there waiting for me. He told me I couldn't stay, that I had to come back to you because you needed me. He said my time wasn't over." Clara's eyes filled with tears, and she pulled Lily into a gentle embrace. "Oh, Lily," she whispered, "your father loved you so much. He would do anything to protect you, even from the other side." Lily leaned into her mother's arms, feeling a warmth she hadn't felt since the accident. "It was like he gave me the strength to wake up. I don't know how, but I think he's the reason I'm here." Clara's heart swelled with gratitude and a renewed sense of faith. "Your father was always our guardian angel, and he still is," she said. "He sent you back to me, Lily, I'm sure of it." The two held each other, their bond stronger than ever. Clara felt a deep sense of peace, knowing that Jacob's love had transcended the boundaries of life and death. Lily, too, began to see her second chance as a gift, a sign that her life held a greater purpose. As weeks turned into months, Lily regained her strength and zest for life. The once quiet house was filled again with laughter, music, and plans for the future. Clara, too, found a renewed purpose in supporting her daughter and cherishing every moment they had together. One sunny afternoon, Lily approached Clara with a notebook in hand. "Mom, I've been thinking a lot about everything that's happened," she began. "I want to write about it. I want to share my story." Clara smiled, pride shining in her eyes. "That's a wonderful idea, Lily. Your story can inspire so many people." Lily nodded, her voice steady. "I think that's why I was given this second chance. To remind people that love and faith can create miracles, and that life is precious." With Clara's encouragement, Lily poured her heart into writing. She recounted the accident, her fleeting encounter with her father, and the inexplicable miracle of her survival. The process was cathartic, helping her heal not just physically but emotionally as well. When the manuscript was complete, Lily submitted it to a publishing house. To her surprise, the story resonated deeply, and it wasn't long before it became a bestseller. Titled A Second Chance, A Journey of Love and Faith, the book touched hearts around the world, bringing hope to countless readers. As Lily's story gained recognition, the family's life transformed in unexpected ways. Invitations for interviews and speaking engagements poured in, giving Lily a platform to share her message of resilience and gratitude. Clara, always by her side, became a symbol of unwavering maternal love, inspiring parents everywhere. But fame and recognition never changed their core values. For Lily and Clara, the greatest gift was the life they shared. On the anniversary of Lily's miraculous survival, they visited Jacob's grave, laying a bouquet of lilies, his favorite flower. "Thank you for bringing me back to her," Lily whispered, her voice carrying a mix of love and reverence. Clara placed a hand on her daughter's shoulder, her eyes glistening with tears. "He's watching over us, Lily," Clara said softly. "And I know he's proud of the woman you've become." As they walked back, hand in hand, the sun broke through the clouds, bathing them in a warm, golden light. It was a moment of serenity, a reminder that even in life's darkest hours, love and faith could light the way. And so, their journey continued. Two souls bound by an unbreakable bond, cherishing the miracle that had brought them back together, and embracing the endless possibilities of their new beginning.
Subscribe and press the bell icon so that you never miss the amazing video.